far as getting to know the people and getting the people to understand the American GIs as they really are. We've
it was kind of weird talking to people that were from the States that were there just checking things out, but it was kind of nice seeing somebody from back home again. I thought about home all the time when I was in Vietnam. Sometimes thinking how nice it would be to be in the snow again and when it was so hot. The 4 seasons, you know, are real nice to be able to appreciate. Like the springtime, you know, now it's everything coming back to life. Makes it real nice. I expected when I grew up I would probably be a farmer and live on a nice little dairy farm somewhere and have a raft of kids, and that would be the existence that I would end up with. That's what I did when I was a little kid. That's what I enjoyed then. Things have changed a lot since then, an awful lot.
Marty got his raft of kids, but he couldn't hold on to them. After 5 years of marriage, Marty's wife Diane left him, even though she was 8 months pregnant.
2 little boys and a lovely woman. Things just didn't work out anymore. And it was decided that she wanted different things than living in an isolated place, you know. She wanted to get around more people, and she wanted to do it without me. And this isn't a living space for one person.
A sergeant with a chest full of medals. He saves them in a shoebox. But today he lives alone with his medals and his memories.
Maybe it is your time to be alone and find out what's really going on inside. But don't forget you're not alone. Someday I'll see you on a spotted horse ready again for battle. And I'll ride beside you, as will many others of us. And then we'll know why and who we are. Take it slow, my friend. It's about that.
Carl and Charmin keep moving together because Charmin is ready to compromise her needs for the sake of her marriage.
The being in Carl that was formed when he was in a war situation is not the type of being that most people want to live around. That was an attraction for me because I'm not a typical suburban housewife. That's not what I was looking for.
But holding on to Carl has not always been easy. Charmin spends weeks alone with her kids while Carl disappears into the calm of the ocean on a boat he bought with his government pension.
I don't stay around my family a whole lot. I leave a lot, and that's the agreement that we have. If it wasn't for that agreement, we wouldn't be together. I have to go off by myself 80% of the time, and I'm not much use as a dishwasher or a floor sweeper or diaper changer. I feel caged if I sit still too long because I want to keep moving. Otherwise, I feel like I've given somebody a chance maybe to draw a bead on me, to use me as a target.
When Carl's coping, I'm happy. I can cope. When he's not, I'm like on edge, waiting for him to find his release or figure out something he can do to resolve what's in his mind. When he finally leaves, I do feel relief because it usually has been building up for a couple of days, his need to go. Finally, I can get back to what I want to be doing. And then it's not that much different when he's gone.
If the wind's blowing a half gale, it's scary. If I'm ghosting through the doldrums watching whales, it's peaceful. It's a place to be by myself where nobody knows I am. When that's taken away from me, that'll be the end of what's left of me.
So Sharman puts up with the hardships that Carl's absence creates. And like him, she's now marked by the legacy of Vietnam. Sharman protects Carl from coping with the world, but other vets in hiding are moving back towards a normal life. In Spokane, Washington, a man who'd lived for years in the Cascade Mountains took us out to an old trapper's cabin where he'd hidden after Vietnam.
I didn't think anything about what, life was going to be like when I got back. I knew how it was when I got back, finally, We were changed.
This is Dean. He was the hellraiser of his family, in trouble with the law by the time he was in high school. He was given a choice, serve your country or serve your time. That was 1965.
Like I say, through trying to reconstruct my life as it was before I went to Nam, it just didn't work out. I just couldn't get along with, my friends that were still bebopping back here on the block. I headed for the woods. I just headed for the woods, just like I say, to get my shit together. Not to feel sorry for myself. Hell, I didn't have to, again, like I say, I didn't have to go into the woods to feel sorry for myself. I could have done that at home. Hell, I could have put a bottle of beer in one hand, cigarette in the other, and watch TV and feel sorry for myself and be twice as comfortable.
When he joined the service, Dean was cocky and street smart. 2 years in Vietnam broke his spirit. Dean's wife welcomed a stranger home from the war.
I told her, listen, I just want to get the hell away for a little bit. Just do some, get some time under my belt and do some thinking. God, she was all for it. She was just glad to see me go because I wasn't doing any good at home. I headed for the hills to a place that I knew about and just got to stay in there. I didn't intend to go into the mountains and spend a lifetime of being up there. I just intended of going up there and trying to get my thoughts together and trying to regroup, try to find out a little about myself. And then, like I say, it just snowballed from there.
Dean wanted to get away from the world, but it didn't work out that way. Other vets heard about this mountain man up in the hills. One decided to join him, and soon there were 7 more. They found Dean surviving on skills he'd learned in the jungles of Vietnam.
Yeah, when I first got up here, I didn't come up here to live like Grizzly Adams, but then there was times that naturally you had to feed yourself, so that's what we did. We more or less lived off the land. Everything we ate. A lot of the clothes we made were out of hides like this. I have a complete set of buckskins and everything, but like I say, I'm not living in the 18th century, I'm living in the 20th century. I spent about 9.5 years in the mountains. I always come out here, recharge my batteries. But I live in town now. Well, let's face it, I have got to get into the mainstream of life. There's things that I have to do.
So Dean moved home to his wife and took Vietnam back with him.
I could be sitting in a house, and all of a sudden, a car will be going down the street like a newer car that has a little whine, and right away you associate that with incoming mortars or whatever. You see lights flashing off the wall or something like that because of car lights. There's just association, flashing and everything like that. You get to thinking about that. We got into a firefight in Berea. It was raining so hard. You couldn't see 10 feet in front of you. I was so scared I was shitting my pants. This is the first time I'd ever been in any kind of a combat situation. You could go ahead and shoot out into the open, but you didn't know what you're shooting at. They had us trapped, and the APCs were just running around. Hardly anybody was shot. When everything, when it was all over, there were more bodies and parts and pieces of bodies in the tracks. They were just literally running over everybody. When we had to clean up, we was pulling Bart's bodies out of their tracks. Hell of a war.
We memorialize the soldiers who died in the war, but we often ignore the men who survived. In Vietnam, they fought a war for their country, and back home they fought a second war with their country's conscience. 15 years later, there are still soldiers in hiding, still fighting to forget.
Hell, this is it. I can come up here anytime. And I remember, this is my memorial, being home, seeing a beautiful country. Christ, that's memorial right there. Being healthy, being alive, raising your kids. That's memorial. I'm getting to the point where I don't want to be a Vietnam veteran. I just want to be a person, that's all. But there's one thing I can't do. I can't stop being a Vietnam veteran. Like I say, I'm proud to be a Vietnam veteran.
A lot of the people that died, at least they died with the feeling that they were defending their own kind, you know. They died with some kind of an honor. But you're sitting in a bar for the rest of your life, so you don't have to think about your own trip. Happens to a lot of people. And I think maybe a headstone with a flag next to it would be just as calm as that. A lot calmer than that. But who knows? I'm glad I survived Vietnam. I don't know if it's even stopped yet. I don't know if it's even over. I don't think. In my head, it's not over.